right? But before we do all that, before all of that good stuff, we need to celebrate, right? Because today's Thursday, yesterday was Wednesday, and an important event happened on Wednesday. And I'm not the kind of person that does this usually, but there's something about this current group of fans that really rouse me and gets on my nerves. So anytime I see them suffering, anytime that they're upset, anytime that they're crying, anytime that they're questioning their life choices, anytime that they're contemplating changing teams, I get glory and satisfaction from it. And if you're wondering, Agosino, if you're wondering out there, Agosino, what are you talking about? I'll tell you what I'm talking about. Let's hit it.
What do we have to do? Listen, now we're about to.
What do we have to do? Let me explain something, right? Josh Kroenke's here tonight, yeah? Where's Stan? You own the club. You fucking parasite. Why are you here? Where are you?
Where is Stan? Where's Stan? Someone get Stan. He's angry. Someone get Stan quickly, please. Someone get Stan. Or don't get him, actually, because if you do get Stan, then he's going to be completely furious. Oh, God, let's go back to it, please. Let's find it again.
Where's Stan? You own the club. You fucking parasite. Why aren't you here? Where are you? And then Josh is standing there on the stage giving out his medals and everything. Do you really think they care? Do you really think that they care? Give it a few years, Newcastle are going to overtake us if we carry on, right? With the new owners that look like they're coming in.
Here we go.
Shut up.
Here we go. Look at that.
If you want to say something, you come on here and say something, yeah? Shut up. Move yourself. Relax your fucking guns. How many games have I been to this year? Every single fucking game, you silly nut. Fuck off. Right, how many games? You've been to more games than me. I've forgotten more games than you. Shut up. Fucking knobhead. Dickhead. Other fucking knobheads over there. I bet this is your first fucking game, you prat. Fuck off, dickhead. Stay on this. Nah, fuck him, man. Fuck him.
He got triggered so hard. I swear to God, whoever that guy is in the crowd, right? And if you're listening via YouTube, this is from the glory that is Arsenal Fan TV. A fan. Oh shit, man. Oh my God. He got triggered so easily. It's like, he's done this for years. Doesn't he know when somebody's obviously baiting him? But I guess the emotions are a bit are running high. But anyway, Arsenal Fan TV is an Arsenal fan channel hosted by the guy Robbie here, that's interviewing the one DT, and they go, after the games or prior to the games, they interview some of the most colourful fans of the Arsenal fan base. Other clubs have different sort of channels, but Arsenal fan TV is probably the biggest one, I think, out of them all, because some of the guys on there are viral sluts for the most part, right? They do anything and everything. Like when a team wins, they're going over the top and saying they're going to win the Champions League. When a team loses, you have to sell every single player. So you know how it is, isn't it? Knee-jerk reaction of sports fans. And yeah, it's one of my favorite things to watch whenever a team loses, Arsenal Fan TV, because for the most part, I'm not that kind of a fan. The kind of fan that goes out there and gloats when their rival is losing, and especially when your teammates are doing that much better. I support Manchester United, and we're probably going through one of our worst periods in time. Of recent history, really. The last 5 to 7 years have been something to probably forget, apart from maybe the Europa League win. But for the most part, Arsenal Fan TV is a gift that keeps on giving. I think what is widely accepted that Arsenal fans are probably the worst set of fans out there. I think after maybe the only rival they have is maybe Liverpool fans, right? Liverpool fans are a little bit too self-absorbed. They take the club too seriously. They call their players by their first names. They sing weird songs. They write poems about players they like. It's just really bizarre, right? They defended Luis Suarez when he was when it was quite obvious that he racially abused Patrice Evra. He bit players. He did all sorts of manner of nonsense, and they all went out there and wore his t-shirt, and then he went and celebrated when they scored against them, and they're still kind of loving him up. Odd fan base in general. But Arsenal fans, I think, take the biscuit. I don't know where it is that really got me annoyed by Arsenal fans. I think it might have been during the Invincible season. They were insufferable, right? It was an amazing feat, don't get me wrong. The Arsenal Invincibles were probably one of the best Premier League sides we've seen maybe in recent history, right? And Arsene Wenger was probably just hit his purple patch. But I always kind of felt contempt for Arsenal because of how pompous some of their players came across, mostly French. So, of course, they had a bit of an arrogant, self-assured vibe about them. But in general, they just kind of come across that they felt that they were better than the league. Arsene Wenger, of course, as well, got humbled in the Champions League with that same team a few times, which was obviously brought a lot of relief and a lot of joy to a lot of other Premier League fans. And then, just the over, just the sense of like, as if they were superior to everyone in the league, because I think at that time they're the only team playing that kind of brand of football, right? Passing out from the back, really quick passing football. Most of us were playing, I say Premier League styles, were playing mostly long ball or crossing balls in from the wings, right? Loads of wing play, loads of counter-attacking play, but Arsenal were like, all about dominating possession and killing teams before they even come out of the tunnel. So they were probably one of the first time, tactically imposing side. So they kind of enjoyed the fruits of like being a great footballing side. And obviously they had loads of young players coming through. I still remember the FA Cup game that Cesc Fabregas played in, all these other players, and David Bentley, just like an amazing crop of young players. But it always felt as if, Arsenal was kind of running on borrowed time, right? And as soon as the players started to dry up, Arsenal, as soon as other clubs coming in with big money, the cracks started to show, the lack of mentality, the lack of winning mentality, the lack of characters in their side. It's so started to crumble. And over the years, seeing them crumble over the years has been so satisfying, because it's really brought their fans back down to earth. And especially with the money that's been invested with some of the other clubs like Leicester, Watford, Wolves, we have to watch out for it as well, being Man United fans. It's really put them into perspective of just how bad the situation is. Then they had that big move to the Emirates, which was built of some way of them kind of finally competing with the big clubs, but it wasn't really. It was just another way for them to generate more money. And now they're in a position where, essentially they're going to cup finals against Chelsea, one of their league rivals, which they finished, I think, just, one place underneath, right? So they're just, there's one place separating them, I think, in between, right? Who finished fourth? I actually forgot who finished fourth. But regardless, there's not much between the two sides. They end up getting humbled 4-1, and it could have been much, much, much more. So, again, I'm not the kind of person that gloats about these kind of things, but it is really satisfying to see them suffering so much, because they really rubbed it in their faces when they were doing really well. So again, it is what it is, but I'm sure they'll all be fine. They'll get loads of hits from it, as the guy from behind mentioned, but bloody hell, man. It's just, honestly, it's the best thing about watching football these days, right? You watch football, Arsenal lose to a side they shouldn't lose to, watch Arsenal Fan TV. Arsenal get battered by a club that spends much more money than them, watch Arsenal Fan TV. Arsenal get battered by a club that they should be competing with, watch Arsenal Fan TV. Whatever it is, watch Arsenal Fan TV. Check it out. Oh, he was so angry. Honestly, I don't know why he got so triggered. The guy behind him said something along the lines of, how many games we've been to? And he's obviously trying to wind him up, and he just goes for the bait and just keeps swearing, fuck you, fuck. Just F-bombs all over the place, man. Just going for it, just furious. Blood is absolutely boiling. And I think someone said in the comments that they feel sorry for his wife. Honestly, man, some of these guys, man, it's just, and again, I don't understand the rage. Like, I've gone past the point of caring for United, right? I'm not getting as angry as I should have, because I can see that United issues are similar to Arsenal's issues. They're a lot deeper than just the players and the managers, right? You get rid of Solskjaer, you get rid of Emery, you're not going to solve anything, right? You bring in a big ticket manager, not going to solve anything. You sign stellar, big name players, not going to solve anything. You have to change the entire infrastructure of the club, right? Arsenal at the moment are run by an American consortium, right? For the most part, who are quite detached from the club. They don't necessarily attend games because they don't want to get stick from the fans. Their only objective is to get top four football, to again, to generate income, to generate exposure. They're not really going for the biggest players out there. They're trying to survive on a shoestring budget for a top four club. United, the same sort of thing. They don't really have an infrastructure where they can buy the top players. Our head finance guy and Ed Woodward is the one that's in charge of signing players, and he doesn't know much about football. The club structure is a bit fucked up. We jump from manager to manager without a sense of style. So I wouldn't get that annoyed. I wouldn't have like a breakdown on camera like this if we end up getting beat 10-0 by Bayern Munich, right? Because they're set up much better than us. So if they end up smacking us, it's not because, obviously it's because their players on the pitch are better than ours, but there's other things at play that result in the players that we have on the pitch, right? There's a reason why we end up with like Ashley Young, Chris Smalling, Phil Jones, and I don't know, still playing for us in defense, 7 years on, because we lack the infrastructure to kind of move those players on. It's just one of those things. So I wouldn't get that riled up. But there's something about, again, I think is the fact that they went into this game so confident, Arsenal fans, thinking that they could beat a Chelsea team who kind of came into their own towards the end of the season. A club within Sarri who plays a particular brand of like your Lumpet. He doesn't, he's predictable in his changes. He doesn't change his style of play, but he's cultivated this style of play throughout the entire season. They haven't changed it. They haven't deviated. When everyone was saying Jorginho was a weak link, he didn't drop him. He kept on playing him. When people saying Kante should be dropped back to screen the defense, Sarri persisted in playing him a bit further up. There were things that he'd done that he consistently did, which kind of made me think, yeah, they're the better footballing side out of the two, right? Maybe on paper, player for player, there's not that much separating Chelsea and Arsenal, but I wouldn't have gone into it as an Arsenal fan and been that confident. Like, I wouldn't, because I watched a couple of their fan cams prior, and they were really confident that they were going to win. And mostly it came off the back of Sarri storming out of the training ground and throwing his hat in there because there was a little scuffle between David Luiz and Higuain. It's like, have you never played football? Have you never played Sunday League? That happens all the time as standard. And Sarri doesn't look like... And if Sarri gets to have a strop and, kicks a ball, I don't take that as an indication that the team are not listening to him. He just seems like a volatile character. That's just what he does, right? He just seems like, the kind of person that always cries when they get angry. He just seems that kind of guy that's like, always throwing his things up in the air or throwing his toys out of the pram whenever something doesn't go his way. That just seems like Sarri's kind of thing. I don't know. I didn't really think that much of it, really. But again, I guess Arsenal fans were really invested in it and really thought that was indicative of their team crumbling. And unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. So yeah, just a funny state of affairs. Again, I don't necessarily take that much pleasure out of it because I know Man United are in the dire straits, but seeing Arsenal fans, especially DT, getting this, it's funny. Troops as well got one, but he's super depressed. I'm not going to play Troops one because he looks really, really gutted. So I'm going to leave this one. But DT one, it's ridiculous, man. Come on, let's relax. You know what I mean? It's Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? It's not like you guys are fucking Juventus and shit. But oh God Almighty, that was glorious. Oh, absolutely glorious. I was saying glorious.